Cell biology, the fundamental unit of life. A cell is the basic structural, functional, and biological unit of all living organisms. Cells are often referred to as the building blocks of life. They can exist as single celled organisms, for example, bacteria, or as part of multicellular organisms, for example, plants, animals, and humans. 1. Cell theory. The foundation of cell biology is based on cell theory, which states 1. All living organisms are composed of one or more cells. 2. The cell is the basic unit of structure and function in living organisms. And 3. All cells arise from pre-existing cells. The theory was developed by Matthias Schleiden, Theodor Schwann, and Rudolf Virchow in the 19th century. Two types of cells. Cells are broadly classified into two categories. One, or A, A prokaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells. Simple cells found in bacteria and archaea. Characteristics: lack a nucleus. DNA floats freely in the cytoplasm. No membrane-bound organelles. Smaller in size. 1 zero point 0.1 to 5 micrometers. Example, Escherichia coli, E. coli bacteria. B. Eukaryotic cells, complex cells, found in animals, plants, fungi, and protists. Characteristics: have a nucleus containing DNA, contain membrane-bound organelles, for example, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus. Larger in size, 10 to 100 micrometers. Example, human cells, plant cells. 3. Cell structure and organelles. Cells contain various organelles that perform specific functions. A. Plasma membrane, cell membrane. Function: regulates entry and exit of substances. Structure: made of a phospholipid bilayer with embedded proteins. B. Nucleus, only in eukaryotes. Function: stores genetic material, DNA, and controls cell activities. Structure: contains chromatin, DNA plus proteins, and a nucleolus, produces ribosomes. C. Cytoplasm. Function: gel-like fluid where organelles are suspended. Structure: contains cytosol, enzymes, and molecules. D. Mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell. Function: produces ATP, or energy, through cellular respiration. Structure: has a double membrane and its own DNA. E. Ribosomes. Function: synthesizes proteins. Structure: made of RNA and proteins found in cytoplasm or attached to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. F. Endoplasmic reticulum, ER. Smooth ER synthesizes lipids and detoxifies substances. Rough ER has ribosomes involved in protein synthesis. G. Golgi apparatus. Function: modifies, packages, and distributes proteins and lipids. H. Lysosomes, animal cells. Function: contains digestive enzymes to break down waste and foreign substances. I. Vacuoles. Function: stores nutrients, water, and waste, larger in plant cells. J. Chloroplasts. Plant cells only. Function: site of photosynthesis, converting sunlight into energy. Structure: contains chlorophyll, has its own DNA. K. Cytoskeleton. Function: maintains cell shape, supports movement. Includes microfilaments, microtubules, and intermediate filaments. 4. Cell functions. 1. Metabolism. Cells carry out biochemical reactions to generate energy, ATP. Catabolism, breaking down molecules to release energy. Anabolism, building complex molecules from simpler ones. 2. Cellular respiration, energy production, occurs in the mitochondria where glucose and oxygen are converted into ATP. Aerobic respiration with oxygen, more efficient. Anaerobic respiration without oxygen produces less energy. 3. Protein synthesis. Transcription, nucleus, DNA to mRNA. Translation, ribosomes, mRNA to protein. 4. Cell division. Cells reproduce through mitosis for growth and repair and meiosis for sexual reproduction. 5. Transport mechanisms. Cells transport materials using passive transport, diffusion, osmosis, no energy required. Active transport uses ATP to move substances against a gradient. 5. Specialized cell types. Cells differentiate into various types based on function. There are epithelial cells, whose function is to protect body surfaces. An example is skin cells. There are muscle cells, whose function is to allow movement. The example here is skeletal or cardiac muscle cell. Nerve cells, for neurons, the function here is to transmit electrical signals, and an example would be the brain and spinal cord. Blood cells transport oxygen and fight infection, and an example would be red and white blood cells. And lastly, stem cells, undifferentiated and can become any cell. An example is embryonic stem cells. 6. Cell communication. Cells communicate using chemical signals like hormones and neurotransmitters. Autocrine signaling, a cell targets itself. Paracrine signaling signals nearby cells. Endocrine signaling uses the bloodstream to target distant cells. 7. Cell cycle and cell division. Cells grow and divide through the cell cycle, consisting of 1. Interphase, growth and DNA replication. 2. Mitosis, cell division for growth and repair. 3. Cytokinesis, splitting into 2 daughter cells. For reproductive cells, meiosis produces gametes with half the genetic material. 8. Cell death, apoptosis versus necrosis. Apoptosis, programmed cell death, prevents cancer. Necrosis, uncontrolled cell death due to injury or disease. 9. Origin and evolution of cells. Abiogenesis hypothesis. First cells arose from simple organic molecules about 3.8 billion years ago. Endosymbiotic theory. Mitochondria and chloroplasts were once free-living bacteria that merged into eukaryotic cells. 10. Importance of cells in medicine and technology. Stem cell therapy, used to regenerate damaged tissues. Cancer research, understanding how cells divide uncontrollably. Genetic engineering, modifying DNA to treat diseases. Biotechnology, producing medicines like insulin from bacterial cells. In conclusion, cells are the foundation of life, performing essential functions that sustain organisms. Understanding cells helps advance medicine, genetics, and biotechnology, shaping the future of science and healthcare.